Hi, Dion. Right. I got your question here, where you want me to clarify uh, the effect of the fundamentals on pound USD. I think it was the UK claimant count change that came out on the 13th. So you said you're a bit confused in regards to the number that came out and the reaction on the price action for pound USD. So yeah, basically a higher than expected reading should be taken as negative, that is bearish for the pound, and then a lower than expected reading should be taken as positive or bullish for the pound, right? And yet the release was a bit confusing on your part. So I'm going to clarify that within this short video. I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm going to make it as short as precise. Now I'm just going to go to the calendar quickly, right? So that we get to see exactly the number that came out on the 13th. So we need to go to the 13th of December, right? And mainly we are focusing on the pound news, right? So we are talking of these pound news here that came out at 9 a.m. Take note, 9 a.m. That is my time here. You can do the maths in regards to your time back there in Ireland. So 9 a.m. we had negative news for the pound, right? Negative news for the pound, right? That's bearish for pound USD. Positive news for the pound, that's positive for GBP USD. Take note of that. So, for instance, if these two fundamentals came out positive, then pound would have rallied to the upside, right? But the two fundamentals came out negative, price should go to the downside. Now I'm gonna go to the platform, the MT5. Now specifically focusing on 9 a.m. I think that's where your issue is. Price in relation to time and price. Now if you come to the 13th of December, 9 a.m., right? So this is 4 5, right? So 9 a.m. Okay, let me go to the 30-minute time frame so that we can clearly see. So this is 30-minute time frame. So this is 9:30. So this is the candle that opens at 9 a.m. right? 9 a.m. price rallied like 15 pips to the upside, right? At the back of negative news for the pound. Price rallied 15 pips in the first 30 minutes from 9 to 9:30. But after that, price dropped 40, maximum of like 44 pips, right? Now, time and price. So as long as we had those negative news for the pound, these two, 9 a.m., as long as we have these negative news, it means there would have been pressure for price to go lower, right? In those couple of minutes or in those couple of hours that the fundamental came out. So you can see from 9 a.m. up until 10:30, that's for the next hour, pound USD went lower. It went lower at a time when it was actually quite strong because dollar is weak. Now, if we are to talk of that in terms of price action, right? Look at the high for 9 a.m. We're talking of this. Let me see if I can zoom in. See if I can zoom in. So this is 13 December. Let's focus on 9 a.m. This is the candle for 9 a.m. Right? You see that candle there? That's the candle that came out 9 a.m. and then we had negative news for the pound. If you look at this candle and the following candle, right, the one that opened now at 9:30, these two, you see, I'm talking about these two, the bullish candle and the bearish candle. If you look at those two candles, what they basically did was a run of stops above yesterday's high, right? Yesterday is in the 12th of December. Run off buy stops. Run off stops. There was a stop hunt of the buy stops above 1.22985, which was previous day's high, right? So the negative news came out, run off stop, then price dropped for an hour or so, or 45. That's an hour and 30 minutes. Price dropped 44 pips, right? At a time when actually dollar was weak. So irrespective of the negative news, you see, the higher time frame eventually preceded those negative news for the pound. Now we're going to talk about that. I'm going to illustrate now why there was that strong bullish move. So with regards to your clarification, right, regarding your confusion that you were having. Now, when you have a strong fundamental coming through, right, there are fundamentals that have got an immediate impact on price, namely NFP, CPI, interest rate decision. You see, they've got an immediate impact. Retail sales, core retail sales, they've got an immediate impact on price. But when you talk of average earnings, claimant count, I'm sure that's something to do with what we call UIF, this side. Those fundamentals, yes, they are high impact, but not that much to have an effect on a higher time frame bias, right? So now, looking further ahead on the calendar for the 13th, right? Now, look what happened. I think from let me just highlight that. So we're talking of these fundamentals here, right? From 1 p.m. all the way to market close, right? 1 p.m. up until 23:30, we had a whole bunch of fundamentals. We had CPI for the United States. We actually traded that in the signal group, and it was negative for the dollar. We had a very nice buy stop triggered on Euro USD. So with these fundamentals, that's negative for the dollar, right? Negative for the dollar, it means pound USD is gonna go up. Positive news for the dollar, pound USD is gonna go down. Now we had a whole bunch of negative news for the dollar. That's CPI. CPI in a nutshell. We had CPI news. So I'm going to show you now on the chart. I'm going to show you now on the chart like exactly the effect of what that means. So having seen the negative fundamental for Euro USD, right? So you'd have expected a very strong bullish momentum, bullish move on pound USD. Now that was 3:30, right here. So this is 3, and then this candle opens at 3:30. Look at how price reacted to the CPI news. Now we all know CPI news, that's the inflation news. And here in particular, we are talking of United States core CPI, year on year, month on month. So you can see core CPI came out at year on year dropped to 6%, which was quite significant in terms of inflation. And you can see the effect that it had in relation to price, right? Time and price. 3:30, we had pound USD rallying all the way to 4:30 for a total of 163 pips. Now, in a nutshell, um, you must consider the effect of a fundamental, strong fundamental, 3-star fundamental. Consider that effect over a long period of time after the release, say a couple of hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, right? That is if there's no other fundamentals in between. So we had CPI news 3:30, and you can see ever since that CPI news, price rallied and it stayed well above uh, the initial release. It stayed well above for a couple of hours, or even, yeah, it only came down after about 2 days. That's when it broke to the downside of the release. During that whole time, price was offering big moves to the upside. So yeah, I think your clarification, I would say in a nutshell, time is the one that you had just miscalculated. Uh, your interpretation was correct in terms of the fundamental. Your interpretation was correct, but timing now was the one which you did not do properly. That 1 hour chart, that 1 hour candle that you highlighted, that's now already after CPI release. You see, this 1 hour candle here, that is now already after the CPI in release, which came out negative for the dollar, meaning positive pound USD price action. So yeah, I hope I've managed to clarify exactly what you want to understand. If there's something I miss, just let me know and I'll explain properly. Thank you, Dion, and keep watching the videos. I'll be sending you more tutorials in regards to the mentorship in the beginning of the year. I wish you and your family a happy festive season. Thank you, my brother. Keep well.